Okay, Haribol, I can read. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalaam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raguna Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषाभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Haribo. Okay, so today we read from text number 3. How does it go?
8 syllables, Prabhu, like Bhagavad Gita.
Utsahan nishchayat dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangat yagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prashidyati. Utsahat by enthusiasm, nishchayat by confidence, dhairyat by patience, tat karma various activities favorable for devotional service, pravartanat by performing, sangatyagat by giving up the association of non-devotees, sataha of great previous acharyas, vritte by following in the footsteps, sadbihi by these 6, bhaktihi devotional service, prashidyati advances or becomes successful. Translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regulative principles such as Ravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. And following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Purport. Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 has defined devotional service as follows. Anya bila shita shunyam jnana karmadhyana vritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttama. Uttama bhakti, or an allied devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. Yes, favorable to the Lord, not favorable to our personal situation. This devotional service should be free from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish desires. Bhakti is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Cultivation of spirituality does not mean sitting down idly for meditation, as some pseudo-yogis teach. Such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotional service, and for this reason, it is sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all nonsensical mundane activities, but also engages one in meaningful devotional activities. Sri Prahlad Maharaj recommends Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. The 9 processes of devotional service are as follows. 1. Hearing the name and the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead. 2. Chanting his glories. Yes, these are the main things that we need to always do. And from these develops all the other steps. So the 3rd step is remembering. Because when you hear and chant, when you do that and repeat it, then automatically remembering comes. Then 4, after remembering, automatically serving comes in picture. So serving the lotus feet. Worshipping the deity. 6. Offering obeisances unto the Lord. 7. Acting as the Lord's servant. Yeah, then comes these highest stages. Making friends with the Lord. Surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. One should not give oral reception to unauthorized persons, but should approach the proper persons, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4:34. Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. What did tattvadarshina mean? I forgot it, but I just heard it.
Those who have seen the truth.
Yes, that was it. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. It is further recommended in the Mundaka Upanishad, Tadvijnanartam sagurum eva bikachet. To understand the transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, Brahmananda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhaktilata Bija. Okay, Haribol, anyone can continue.
Hare Krishna. In the course of traversing the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate soul may receive the seat of Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 19:151. The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature anandamaya, pleasure-seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness, but not knowing the process of liberation, they are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another. In this way, the living entities are wandering throughout the material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from him patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity at large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens. One should accept this opportunity to return home, back to Godhead, very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. A student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who wants success in his line must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? The answer is that one should always act for Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishnartha Kila Cheshta, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In all phases of life, one has to perform devotional activities under the direction of the spiritual master in order to attain perfection in bhakti yoga. It is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activities. Krishna is all-pervading. Therefore, nothing is independent of Krishna, as Krishna himself states in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavasthiraha. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one has to make everything favorable for Krishna's service. For example, at present we are using a dictaphone. The materialist who invented this machine intended it for businessmen or writers of mundane subject matters. He certainly never thought of using the dictaphone in God's service, but we are using this dictaphone to write Krishna consciousness literature. Of course, the manufacture of this dictaphone is wholly within the energy of Krishna. All the parts of the instrument, including the electronic functions, are made from different combinations and interactions of the five basic types of material energy, namely Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akasha. The inventor used his brain to make this complicated machine, and his brain, as well as the ingredients, were supplied by Krishna. According to the statement of Krishna, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani, everything is depending on my energy. Thus, the devotee can understand that since nothing is dependent of Krishna's energy, everything should be detailed in his service. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha, or enthusiasm. The devotee finds the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. The execution of devotional service is not a matter of idle meditation, but practical action in foreground of spiritual life. These activities must be executed with patience. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continued to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually began to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The successful execution of Krishna consciousness activities requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband, confident that her child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident. The devotee thinks, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me the help for the successful execution of devotional service. This is called confidence. Haribol, anyone can continue next.
Yes, this was nice definition of confidence.
Yes.
So everyone should become like this, even though it's seemingly bad situation, but we should always think that as long as we want to execute this properly, this devotional service, and come to that stage, then Krishna will surely protect, even though it's looking horrible in the situation.
Maybe it should be sent to Dilip Prabhu. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, who wants to continue? It means hearing. Oral reception means hearing.
Yeah.
Giving reception to the vibration of the. Let's see what this definition of this oral is. Yeah,
by
relating the
ears.
ear or the sense
Yeah.
of hearing. Okay, who wants to continue?
Hare Krishna.
Ribo.
Mm. It's already. Are you audible? I'm audible, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's already explained. One should not be ideal, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. Tattat karma pravartana. Neglecting the regulative principle will destroy devotional service. In this shortest moment, there are four basic regulative principles for being. In this six being, a devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in following any of them, his progress will be certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends that one must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. Um, yes, Prabhu, must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these four regulative principles, in addition to these four prohibitions, sorry, bro, my internet is slow. In addition to these four prohibitions, yama, there are positive regulative principles, niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 notes on the Kamala beats. These regulative principles must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. That this is called Tattat Karma Pravartana, or varied engagement in devotional service. Furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his household devotees about the general principles of Vaishnavism, as well as the general routine activities of the Vaishnava, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sangat Tyaga, Ei Vaishnavachara. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. Sri Narottama Das Thapura has therefore confirmed Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas. One has to live in the company of devotees and execute the regulative principles laid down by the previous acharyas, six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunatha Goswami. If one lives in association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. The, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness is opening many centers just to invite to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulative principles of spiritual life. Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the three modes of material nature. This is called Vishuddha Sattva. Visuddha Sattva, a platform of pure goodness, or goodness free from contamination by the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this Krishna conscious movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend Mangalarati or morning worship, then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtana, and so forth. Thus, we hold continuous activities in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Sato Vritti, or following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities. If one strictly follows the advice given in this verse by Sri Larupa Goswami, namely being enthusiastic, being being confident, being patient, giving up the association of the non-devotees, giving up the association of unwanted persons, following the regulative principles and remaining the association of devotees. One is to advance in devotional service. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation the collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of future activities and the and the desire for yoga siddhis, material perfections, are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his attention instead to the regulated principles of devotional service. According to Bhagavad Gita, यानि सा सर्वभूतानां तस्यं जागृति संयमे यस्यं जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Engagement in the devotional service of the Lord is life and soul of the living entity. If it is desired goal and supreme perfection of human life, one has to become confident about this, and one also has to confident that all activities other than devotional service, such as mental speculation, spiritual work, or mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. Complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain his desired goal, but attempting to follow other paths will only succeed in making one restless. The seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, one must be calmly convinced that those who have given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purposes are not purified in their mind despite their advanced austerities because they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. It is further stated in the seventh canto, although mental speculators and creative actors may perform great austerities and penances, they still fall down because they do not have information about the lotus feet of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord, however, never fall down. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures Arjuna, Kaunteya Pratijanati Nami Bhakta Pranasyati. O son of Kunti, declare that it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Again in the again in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Bhadobhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. Sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagement and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and thus begin the preliminary execution of devotional service. Even if such an immature devotee falls down, there is no loss on his part. On the other hand, what is the gain of a person who executes prescribed duties according to his varna and ashrama, but who does not take to devotional service? Although a fallen devotee may take his next birth in a low family, his devotional service may nonetheless resume from where it is left off. Devotional service is Ahitukya Pratihata. It is not the effect of many mundane causes, nor can it be terminated by any mundane cause or permanently curtailed by any material interruption. Therefore, a devotee should be confident about his engagement and should not be very interested in the activities of karmis, jnanis, and yogis. There are certainly many good qualities among future actors, philosophical speculators, and mystic yogis, but all good qualities automatically develop in the character of a devotee. No extraneous endeavor is needed, as confirmed by Srimad Bhagavatam. All the good qualities of the demigod manifest progressively in one who has developed pure devotional service. Because a devotee is not interested in any material activity, he does not become materially contaminated. He is immediately situated on the platform of transcendental life. However, one who engages in mundane activity, be he a so-called Gnani, Yogi, Karmi, philanthropist, nationalist, or whatever, cannot attain the higher stage of Mahatma. He remains a he remains a Duratma or cripple-minded person. According to Bhagavad Gita 9.13, महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्ते अनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engage in the devotional service because they know me as a supreme personality of God, original and inexhaustible. Since all the devotees of Lord are under the protection of His supreme potency, they should not deviate from the path of devotional service and take to the path of karmi Jnani or yogi. This is called उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात्, enthusiastically executing the regulative activities of devotional service with patience and confidence. In this way, one can advance in devotional service without hindrance. Text 4. ददाति प्रतिगृह् ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति तुष्यम् आप्यन्ति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव सद्वि सद्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम् Dadati gives charity. Pratigruhnati accepts in return. Gushyam confidential topics. Akhyanti explains. Prithyati inquires. Bhunte eats. Bhojante bhojayate feeds. Sa also. Eva certainly. Shadvidam six kinds. Preeti lakshanam of preeti of love. Lakshanam symptoms. Translation: offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, incurring confidentially, accepting prasada, and offering prasada are the six symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Purport. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are six kinds of activities: giving charity to the devotees, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return, opening one's mind to the devotees, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord, honoring prasada or spiritual food given by the devotees, and feeding the devotees with prasada. The experienced devotee explains, and the inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Bhuksham Akyanti Prachanti. When a devotee distributes prasada, remnants of the food offered to the Supreme Personality of God, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasada as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasada, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called Bhunte Bhojayate Chaivan. Even in ordinary social activities, these six kinds of dealings between two loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel. However, the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of preeti or love of intimate dealings, these six activities are executed. In previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami In previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees. Sangha Tyagat Sato Vritteh, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, has been established to facilitate these six kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasada. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasada we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service and would try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The life of the Krishna conscious society is now reshaped by these six kinds of loving exchanges among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the six ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita 2.62, it is stated, Sangha Sanjayate Kama, one desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associate with devotees, will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness uh, The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:107. नित्यसिद्ध कृष्ण प्रेम सज्जा ओभो नयन श्रवणादि शुद्ध चित्ते कार्ये Karaye, Udaye, pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. Since Krishna consciousness is inherent in every living entity, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Krishna. Simply by hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, one's heart is directly purified, and one's original Krishna consciousness immediately awakens. Krishna consciousness is not artificially imposed upon the heart, it is already there. When one chants the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the heart is cleansed of all mundane contamination. In the first stanza of Sri Sikshashtaka, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, चेतोदर्पणमार्गं मम महालाभाद्विनिर्वापणं श्रेयःकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुनिवर्धनं गरिमनं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं करं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्. All glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Not only is the chant of the Hare Krishna of the Mahamantra purified, but the heart of anyone who happens to hear the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's also cleanser. Even the souls embodied in lower animals, insects, trees, and other species of life also become purified and prepared to become fully Krishna conscious simply by hearing the transcendental vibration. This was explained by Sapura Haridasa when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him how living entities lower than human beings can be delivered from material bodies. Haridas Thakur said that the chanting of the names is so powerful that even with one chant in the remotest parts of the jungle, trees and animals will advance in Krishna consciousness simply by hearing the vibration. This was actually proven by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he passed through the forest of Jahiri Khanda. At that time, the tigers, snakes, deer, and all the other animals abandoned their natural animosity and began chanting and dancing in Sankirtana. Of course, we cannot imitate the activity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we should follow in his footsteps. We are not powerful enough to enchant the lower animals such as tigers, snakes, cats, and dogs, or entrain them to dance. But by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can actually convert many people toward the world to Krishna consciousness. Contributing or distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing or giving charity. The Dadati principle. By the same token, one must also follow the Pratigushnati principle unwillingly and ready to receive the transcendental gift. One should inquire about the Krishna consciousness movement and open his mind in order to understand the situation of this material world. Thus, the Gushyam, Akyanti Pritchanti principles can be several. The members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness invite the society members and supporters to die with them when they hold low feasts in all the branches every Sunday. Many interested people come to honor Prasada and whenever possible, they invite members of the society to their home and feed them some portion of prasada. In this way, both the members of the society and general public are benefited. People should give the company People should give up the companies of the so-called yogis, jnanis, karmis, and philanthropists because their associations can benefit no one. If one really wants to attain goal of human life, he should associate with the devotees of the Krishna conscious movement because it is only the movement that teaches one how to develop love of God. Religion is a special function of human society, and it constitutes the distinction between human society and animal society. Animal society has no church, mosque, or religious system in all parts of the world. However, downtrodden human society, there is some system of religion. Even tribal aborigines in the jungles also have a system of religion. The religious system develops and turns into love of God. It is successful, as stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai Pumsam 1.2.6. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yado Bhakti Radokshad Ahituksya Pradihata Yatma Suprasi. The supreme occupation, dharma for all humanity is church, by which men can attain to loving service, devotional service under the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. If the members of the human society actually want peace of mind, tranquility, and friendly relations between men and nations, they must follow the Krishna conscious system of religion, by which they can develop their government love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as people do so, their minds will immediately be filled with peace and tranquility. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wants all devotees to engage in broadcasting the Krishna conscious this movement did not speak to the imperfect Mayavadis, who are always determined to oppose such theistic movements. The world is full of Mayavadis and atheists, and the political parties of the world take advantage of Mayavada and other atheistic philosophy to promote materialism. As for after this parallels, sometimes they even back a strong party to oppose the Krishna consciousness movement. The Mayavadis and other atheists do not want the Krishna conscious movement to develop because it educates people in God consciousness. That is the false of that is. There is no benefit in feeding a snake milk and bananas because the snake will never be satisfied. On the contrary, by taking milk and bananas, the snake simply becomes more poisonous. Kevalam vardhanam. The snake is given milk to drink. Its poison simply increases. If a snake is given milk to drink, its poison simply increases. For a similar reason, we should not disclose our minds to the serpent Mayavadis or karmis. Such disclosures will never help. It is best to avoid associating with them completely and never ask them about anything confidential because we cannot give a good advice. Because they cannot give good advice. Nor should we extend invitations to Mayavadis or and atheists, nor accept their invitation. For by such intimate intermingling, we may become affected by their artistic mentality. Sangha sanjayate kama. It is the negative injunction. It is a negative injunction of this verse that we should refrain from giving anything or accepting anything from the Mayavadis and atheists. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also gone Yashayirana Kaile Dusta Hayamana. By eating food prepared by a worldly person, one's mind becomes weaker. Unless one is very advanced, he is unable to utilize everyone's contribution to further the Krishna conscious movement. Therefore, on the principle, one should not accept charity from the Mayavadis or atheists. I have to say something to you. Today, Prabhu, yesterday, a person uh, he said that he is a Sri Vaishnava. In our Vaishnava Sangha group, he chatted something wrong, Prabhu. He said that he supports the Sri Vaishnavism, but actually he is also a Mayavadi Prabhu. He actually states that Lord Shiva, Mother Kachai, and Lord Vishnu are on the same level. He says he is simply talking against all the Sri Vaishnava, and he is talking that he follows Sri Vaishnava. And today he came with some of his Soka and the Sri Vaishnava devotees. Prabhu. He argued with me for hours together. Yesterday also I wasted so much time arguing with that rascal. He's
So is he
simply
in our
talking
group?
everything again.
Is he someone
Prabhu, is
in
he
the group?
still in our group? Is he still in our group?
I don't know, Prabhu. I just blocked him. He's simply a rascal, Prabhu. He speaks everything
Yes,
about
Prabhu,
secularism.
it's a waste of time to argue with such people. There's a lot of such people. According to the Shastra, those who equal Narayana to other demigods is called Pashandi and atheists.
Yeah.
He's not even a Vaishnava, and he is still saying that he is a Vaishnava, but he don't accept that and before the Sri Vaishnava devotees, he says that I accept that Vishnu is the supreme God, and when the Sri Vaishnavas are not there, he says that Vishnu, Lord Shiva, or Mother Katyayani, all are equal. You can worship any one of them. He is his son. He's simply talking all nonsense.
Dimitri Prabhu, do you remember the verse that is similar to this? That when a good advice is given to an envious person, it just increases his anger.
I think I shared it with you.
Yes, you
Okay,
this
yeah,
before.
I will try to find again. Yeah,
But
Dama
because
Prabhu, you can read the
yes,
verse I shared in the chat. I mean,
yes,
you can just drop this verse to him, and that's it.
a
No
person
need to
who
associate
considers
with.
demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be on equal level with Narayana is to be considered an offender or personally. A person who considers demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be on equal level with Narayana is to be considered with
Yes,
as
sorry,
an
I
offender.
just shared it twice. Yeah, that's the point.
Yes, Brahma.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot. It's Mathya
Chanakya Prabhu.
18.
Because he
Yeah,
constantly speaking against it. He said that he followed ISKCON Prabhu. ISKCON for some months or together, and he's saying that ISKCON brainwashed him. He's telling that ISKCON people speak everything without any logic, without any shastra. He asked for some doors to the devotees. Prabhu. In
yes,
ISKCON,
Prabhu.
he's saying that none of them are quoting any shastra. They are simply saying some nonsense without any logic. He's quoting everything nonsense, Prabhu. But as far as I can see, um, uh, there are there are so many verses given by Prabhupada. Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. And
There is,
usually persons are just like this.
yes, Prabhu.
Where did it go?
He's simply against Prabhupada. Prabhu. That's why I criticized him.
Yeah, that's you just block him. That's it.
Yeah,
Yes,
because he's
We
a
should
I
avoid
already blocked him.
those envious people
yes, Prabhu.
because he commits aparat, and by associating with him, he will be just committing more and more aparat.
Yeah. See,
So banning him is a mercy for him.
yeah, because even if you give good instructions, because he's foolish, what the instruction does, because he cannot take advantage of the instruction, he becomes more and more angry at Krishna and Prabhupada and everything, and then he goes to hell deeper. So let's block them if they're
Yes,
in.
Prabhu. I had this doubt, Prabhu. Should I argue with him or should I simply avoid him?
Yes,
Yes,
just
Prabhu.
avoid because it will never end. And he doesn't
Just
want.
avoid, and you can drop this. What I
Yes,
shared, that
Prabhu.
he's a Pashandi. Let
He
him know
doesn't
his
even
position.
he also have this faith that by chanting the holy name he can get liberation from it. He's simply a gross foolish.
Hmm. Yes, I think he's the person who we had to kick out many times from the group, and he keeps coming back always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but finally
No,
we
no, Prabhu.
banned him.
He's a different Prabhu. He's
Okay.
a different person.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
person who
Anyway,
repeatedly
we will
comes,
see.
the person who repeatedly comes, he also started with me, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Okay, anyone can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, maybe Pranjal Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, or anyone who doesn't read it.
Where did it, was it on the 46th page?
I think it was. 1 second, there for one. Yeah. Hmm.
There.
What does this
There.
mean?
Therefore, on principle.
But one
What is
second.
this?
But this, because here it says
Here.
that to further the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, on principle, one should not accept charity from the Mayavadis or atheists. So, what does this like? Should donation not
Unless
be
one is
taken?
very advanced, he is unable to utilize everyone's.
But rather, but sannyasi in ISKCON accepts invitation from Mayavadis, Prabhu.
But you see, Srila Prabhupada was very, I mean, Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. He could, yes, bro.
Radhanath Maharaj accepts the invitations from the Mayavadis, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
He's a rascal. He compromises with them.
But
I think he's the guru of Gaur Gopal Das.
Should we not take donations from atheists or Mayavadis if they're envious?
That's a good question to ask.
Because here it said charity.
But you see, unless one is very advanced, if you are very advanced, you can take. Like Srila Prabhupada, he got that temple of Kali and turned them into Vaishnava temple. But can anyone do this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Like Nimante Prabhu said, I mean, it's impossible to.
When
those worshippers of Kali will come and start saying that why you giving her Vishnu Prasadam, where is her husband?
Yes,
let put Lord Shiva also. So this whole demigod worship will come.
Yes, Prabhu.
No.
And now
Unless one is very advanced.
That if we get charity from, this explains it, because if one is advanced like a temple president to take donations, then he can take from these. And when we gather donations, it's not for us. It goes straight to the temple president. So also this does not apply to us because we are not gathering donations anyways.
Yes.
Okay, Ero Prabhu, you can continue. Haribol.
Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden devotees to associate even with ordinary men who are too addicted to material sense gratification. The conclusion is that we should always keep company with devotees, observe their regulative devotional principles, follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, and in full obedience carry out the orders of the spiritual master. In this way, we shall be able to develop our devotional service and dormant Krishna consciousness. The devotee who is neither a neophyte nor a Mahabhagavata, a greatly advanced devotee, but is within the middle stages of devotional service, is expected to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, make friends with the devotees, show favor to the ignorant, and reject the jealous and demoniac. In this verse, there is brief mention of the process of making loving transactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and making friends with the devotees. According to the Tatati principle, an advanced devotee is supposed to spend at least 50% of his income on the service of the Lord and his devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami has set such an example in his life. When he decided to retire, he distributed 50% of his life's earnings to Krishna's service and 25% to his relatives, and kept 25% for personal emergencies. This example should be followed by all devotees. Whatever one's income, 50% should be spent on behalf of Krishna and his devotees, and this will fulfill the demands of Tatati. In the next verse, Srila Rupa Goswami informs us what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. Okay, anyone else can continue. I think I don't know. I can't even follow my own self when I'm trying to read.
No, Prabhu, you can read.
Do we have time to read one more, or is it too long?
Yeah, it looks like it's not very big, but it's a very important actually verse about Uttamadhikari, that we should accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master.
It's 12 pages. Yes, I think we can do it.
Yeah, why not?
Krishna.
It's like Brahma Samhita, Prabhu, 14 syllables.
Krishna
Tiyasya Giritam Manasadriyeta, like that.
Okay. Krishne Tiyasya Girita Manasadriyeta Dikshasti Chet Praniti Bischa Pajantamisham Shusrushya Bhajana Vignam Ananyam Ananyam Anya Ninda Dishunya Hridami Pshita Sanga Labdya Krishna, the holy name of Lord Krishna. Oh, 1 second. The postman came. Okay. Krishna, the holy name of Lord Krishna. Iti, thus, yasya, of whom, giri, in the words or speech, tam, him, manasa, by the mind, adriyeta, one must honor, diksha, initiation, asti, there is, chet, if, pranadibihi, by obeisances, cha, also, bhajantam, engaged in devotional service, isham, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, shusrush, Shushrooshaya, by practical service. Bhajana Vignam, one who is advanced in devotional service. Ananyam, without deviation. Anyanindadi, of blasphemy of others. Shunya, completely devoid. Hridam, whose heart. Ipsita, desirable. Sangha, association. Labdya, by gaining. Translation. Yes, so this is how one should treat different levels of devotees. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, Diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve the pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Yes, so not every devotee should be like folded hands, so you can do anything and you are so great.
Yes.
Purport. In order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way, according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with three types of devotees, the Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari, and Uttamadikari. The Kanishtadikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. One should respect such a person within his mind as Kanishta Vaishnava. Madhyamadikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So this is like first initiation, but not all second initiations are Madhyamadikaris, but usually a Madhyamadikari requires that he is second initiated. The Madhyamadikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. The Uttamadikari or highest devotee is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttamadikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean and he has attained the realized stage of unallied Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavata or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. One should not remain a Kanishtadikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11.2.47. Archayam eva haraye, ujam yah sraddaye hate, natad bhakteshu chanyeshu cha sa bhakta prakrita smritaha. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general, is called Prakrita Bhakta or Kanishtadikari. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishtadikari to the platform of Madhyamadikari. The Madhyamadikari is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.46 in this way. Ishvaretat adineshu balisheshu dvishatsuscha prema maitri kripopeksha yah karoti madhyamaha. The Madhyama Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love, makes friends with the lost devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, and avoids those who are envious by nature. This is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has advised us how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakrita Sahajiyas generally chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, yet they are attached to women, money, and intoxication. Although such persons may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people, yes, this is what these tendencies almost everyone has these, has the independent mind or something. More or less, these are there. Not maybe fully, but something are there still.
Yes, but though there are those who are willing to be instructed and change those bad habits, and there's who to pretend be good devotees, but this will be explained further.
Yes, Brahma.
Yeah.
Although such a person may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotees. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. Yes, this is our amazing full-time young devotees and all other seniors who are working hard full-time. In this Krishna consciousness movement, a chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed, or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement, sit with us, take prasad, and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone is actually interested in Krishna consciousness and wants to be initiated, we accept him as a disciple for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by the orders of the spiritual master, he should be accepted immediately as a bona fide Vaishnava. An obeisance should be offered unto him. Out of many Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in service of the Lord and strictly following the regulative principles, chanting the prescribed numbers of rounds on japa beads, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. So even this, when it's Madhyama Adhikari, but when he's initiated and engaged, even if he is Madhyama Adhikari, he should be offered full obeisances if he's following the spiritual master. Thinking of how to, such a Vaishnav should be accepted as an Uttamadhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought. The process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya 4192. Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpana, sei kale Krishna tare kare atma sama. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as he himself. Diksha, or spiritual initiation, is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha 868 by Srila Jiva Goswami. Divyam Jnanam Yato Datyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam Tasma Diksheti Sa Prokta Deshika Istatva Kovidai. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. Yes, this is one thing that we can observe. If there is some guru who is doing some nonsense, joining some weird conventions, talking about Lion King there and things like this, then he is not disinterested in material enjoyment and has never even got proper diksha, even if he's initiated. If he doesn't lose the disinterest, then there is no Diksha at all, even if there is some ceremony. We have seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and respectable families quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter into spiritual life. Although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. Yes, this I'm lacking. I need to learn this. Because here it's wealthy country and everything is made up from electricity to water. Everything runs perfectly. So giving it up fully and taking up some lower conditions is what I need to learn. Okay, Haribol, anyone can continue.
Hare Krishna. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. For the advancement of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.13 prescribes tapasa brahmacharyana shamena cha damena cha. When a person is serious about accepting diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. If one is so prepared and desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, divyam jnanam, he is fit for being initiated. Divyam jnanam is technically called Tatvigyana, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tatvigyanartham sagarum eva bhikachet. When one is interested in the transcendental subject matter of the Absolute Truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach a spiritual master in order to take diksha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21 also prescribes Tasmat Gurum Prapadyata Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. When one is actually interested in the transcendental science of the Absolute Truth, he should approach a spiritual master. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions, nor should one accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science, jigyasu shreya uttamam. The word uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of this material world, and At means transcendental. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mind and subject matters, but when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as a Madhyama Adhikari. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 2269, it is said, Yahara Kumara Shraddha Shekanishta Jana Krami Krami Teh Bhakta Haibe Uttam. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage, but if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform Uttama Adhikari. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beads. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen. Patita. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. When Srila Satyaraja Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kohe yanar mukhi shune eki bar Krishna Nama Shai Purya Shrestha Shabakar. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. Madhya 15:106. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Atayave Yanri Mukhe Eka Krishna Nam, Shaitai Vaishnava Kariha Tanhara Shaman. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's names should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respects as such at least within one's mind. Madhya 15:111. One of our friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting the holy names of Krishna, and even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to pictures of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has a very high estimation for Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respects to him without reservation, for we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that none of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers have gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of the Lord. While giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into three categories. Shastra Yukti Nahi Jani Dritha Shradhavan, Madhyama Adhikari Shei Mahabhagyavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and who is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service should be considered a Madhyama Adhikari. Such a person is very fortunate. Madhya 22:67. A Madhyama Adhikari is a Shraddhavan, a staunchly faithful person, and he is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22:64, it is said, Shraddhavan Jana Hoy Bhakti Adhikari Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shraddha Anushari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha, faith. Again, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22:62, it is said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohi Shudritha Nishchai Krishna Bhakti Koila Sharva Karma Krita Hoy. By rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service, is called Shraddha. Okay, anyone can continue next. Yeah, I'm also in the kindergarten.
Yes, we are waiting for joining the first class at the school.
Yeah, recently initiated devotees, they definitely are much more advanced than us.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, who wants to read the last 2 pages? Okay, Haribol, I can read. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men, and whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is. without interpretation. This was the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvam metatritam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Bhagavad Gita 10:14. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita, and this is called Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretation and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in their totality, especially the last instruction, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. When one becomes completely faithful in regards to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevon mukhe hi jivadau svayam eva spuratyada. Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Verse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We cannot realize the Supreme Person of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue, Sevan Mukhe Hi Jivadao, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasad. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotee. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of Krishna. He understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttamadhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes, Tadati, Pratikranati, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttamadhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized, for by such imitation one will eventually become degraded. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises that the devotees to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. And one qualification for being Madhyamadhikari is that one knows how to distinguish between devotees. So this is like instruction to become a Madhyamadhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate devotees situated on a higher platform. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttamadhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhikari. Yes, and this they say, in ISKCON they say, but it is said that even Kanishtadhikari can accept disciples, anyone can accept disciples. But one should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also, yes, here it comes, can also accept disciples. But such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. So what is the use of this disciple-guru relationship if one cannot even advance? It's nonsense.
Yeah, it's a common sense. If your guru is on Kanishtadhikari platform, how can you become a Madhyamadhikari under his guidance if he himself is a Kanishtadhikari?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. It's also here it is given to the disciple. See, It's not that you go blindly accept someone, just some guru. There is big responsibility with the disciple also. He cannot say, when he goes to the Yamaraj, he cannot say, but he told me and I followed him, and he lied to me. Doesn't work. And there was the
Yes.
story, where there was some guru who was not qualified and capable, and he said to the disciples that I will deliver you and just render me like this. And after they all passed and they went to Yamaraj, all the disciples, they were complaining to Yamaraj that this spiritual master cheated us. He said he would take our reactions and he cheated us. We followed him and he cannot help us. And then Yamaraj gave them, and they wanted to, get revenge at him. So what happened? All the disciples, they got the body of ants and they became ants. And the spiritual master became a snake. So one day the
Oh,
snake
yeah.
was going through the ants. They had the big like hive, or I don't know what it's called in English. And yeah, then all the ants ate and killed the snake. So that way they all
Yeah, I heard this.
animals and got they all sank with the stone boats to the hellish animal life because they followed nonsense guru who was not Uttamadikari. And they say
We
that
can,
they were
yes.
just innocent.
After Shikshashtakam, I suggest to watch a small, maybe 5-minute, 10 minutes clip by Nimanitai Prabhu, how he explained this very important verse.
Yes, Prabhu.
And, yeah.
Okay, who starts?
Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaham davagni-nirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadhujivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatvasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पितानि अमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवामितिर्समिहा जानी ननुरगा.
तृणादपि सुनिश्चयेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन मानेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरिः
नचनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगत् ईशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि.
Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddho kripaya tava pada pankaja sthitadhuli sadrisham vichintayam.
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति.
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषां प्रावशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण वै आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पुनस्त्वां दर्शनात् मर्महतं करोति वा यदा तदा वा विलासनं ततो मत्प्राणनादस्य स एव न परहं प्रभो शिक्षाष्टकस्मृति विपडेश्वने कृष्णप्रेममत्ते तारावलिदिने.
Translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge, it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. See, here sometimes people misunderstand this. They think that, see, because here it said one should be more tolerant and should be ready to offer all respects to others. So they understand this, that they should offer all respects to others. They miss this, that be ready, because they think that, oh, Trinada Pisunicena, you need to, offer respects to everyone you meet, and even a demon you meet, you offer respects, and they think it's like this. But you need to be ready, but it doesn't mean that every snake and animal you see there, you go offer respects. It's not like that. Okay, who wants to read the form?
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, but after
O son of Maharajanandana Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all, is that like vacant, or I don't know how to pronounce it, in the world in your absence. Vacant.
Yeah.
With K. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord unconditionally.
Hari Bol, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan
Jai,
Panchatattva ki jai, Sri Krishna
Jai,
Prabhu ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Jagat
Jai,
Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaur
Jai,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Please stay tuned. Let's watch this very important.
Swami Prabhu,
So
can
here-
you tell about yourself, Prabhu?
What, Prabhu?
Can I know about you, Prabhu? Where do you live?
Yes, Prabhu. Few seconds. Let's watch this video first. This is explanation of that verse.
Yeah, I highly recommend to everyone to watch the whole class, although it's very long, but I mean, it's very important.
Yes, Prabhu.
Srila Rupa Goswami is telling us how to recognize who is who. Okay, so one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Now we might quote this against today's session, that you are not very advanced because you're going to be criticizing the sahajas, you're going to So actually, preacher, the platform of guru is actually Madhyamadikari. But
see, this is a really nice way from Nimanitai Prabhu. He first, started with all the arguments.
Yes.
They cannot speak.
it is the Uttama Adhikari who comes down to the Madhyama platform who is really empowered. Because the Uttama Adhikari does not discriminate where mercy has to be given. In fact, he sees everybody as a devotee. So where's the meaning of preaching? He thinks that he's lower than everybody else and everyone is a devotee, even the most of sinners, In other words, he's completely freed from the bodily concept of life because he sees the spirit soul, who's an eternal servant of Krishna. So he's not considering the material, covering. So even the Uttamadhikari comes down to the Madhyamadhikari. And the Madhyamadhikari, he's already discriminating in 4 different ways, right? He sees the Supreme Lord, he sees the devotees, the innocent, and the envious. And he's going to be dealing differently with the 4 of them. Now, so if the Madhyamadhikari discriminates, and the Uttamadhikari, because he's so concerned with the welfare of others, also comes down to the second platform, so that means that actually discrimination can never be given up. It always has to be there. Because even if one is pure, completely freed from the 3 modes, Uttamadhikari, you still will have to discriminate for the welfare of others. Now this is something which is very counterintuitive. How is it that by discriminating, one will develop the mood of not wanting to discriminate? And that is how it works. We have to properly discriminate at first. And by this proper discrimination, our devotional activities will be properly done. We will not be misunderstanding. We will not be applying our reciprocation with wrong devotees or non-devotees, right? Because those 6 times.
I wish Jacob Prabhu also watched this episode because, at least 2 times. Because again, he's going to the ISKCON festivals. In 2 days, he's again going. Balaram Purnima, he went. He said that it was awful. He got very confused again. All these things. Yes. And still
he can share this.
Types of accepting, receiving, all of that should be done with Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari, not with Kanishtadhikari actually. So the Kanishta has to be taking association from more advanced devotee if he wants to advance. If he doesn't do so, if he doesn't take guidance, he will remain on the lowest stage. So let's go back. So Srila Prabhupada actually, he is completely devoid of this propensity to criticize others. He does not want to do that, but he does it to show by example. And this we will come back again to it's spoken by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the same article. So now this is just a sideline here. In order to intelligently apply the 6-fold loving reciprocation mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. Yes, that's the thing. And this is what this session is all about. It's about properly discriminating who is who in this Vaishnava world. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way, according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with 3 types of devotees: the Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. The Kanishtadhikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of the Lord of Krishna. He's trying to chant. That means his chanting is very offensive still. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. This is very important. Although we are going to be discriminating today, saying that, people, some of these devotees, they compromise, they don't show we should not disrespect them within ourselves. We should still, because after all, they're chanting Hare Krishna. So that's a very important point. We should not step on them simply to feel oneself to be higher. That's actually the mentality of a Kanishtadhikari. To simply discriminate, to say, put other people's down so that one feels better, it's what the karmis are doing. A Madhyamadhikari has received spiritual initiation.
It was just what the Jacob Prabhu always complains about the ISKCON temple, that they are trying to put him down, then he's trying to revenge to them, and they're like cats and dogs going around with this, who's better than someone and who's gonna put another one down, and this is going on.
Yes, Prabhu highlighted a very nice point, actually. I never noticed that although we're discriminating, still we should respect them. After all, they're chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
And they initiated.
Been fully engaged by him in the transcendental living service of the Lord. The Madhyamadhikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. So fully engaged in devotional service. There's a lot to understand in those few sentences. But transcendental living service of the Lord, So actually the Madhyamadhikari becomes a preacher. The Uttamadhikari or highest devotee is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttamadhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavata or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. So therefore, when one is raised to the Madhyama platform, then he will be able to to serve the Uttamadhikari properly. Before one becomes a Madhyamadhikari, actually he is not capable of serving the Uttama. We will see this later, if I remember to show. So, because he's beyond speculation, that's the thing. The Madhyamadhikari, he is beyond speculation because he's guiding by Shastra. He has developed Shastra Praman, Shastra Chakshu. He sees through the scriptures, therefore he does not speculate. But the Kanishta, he speculates. Why? Because he's full of doubts. His faith is not strong. One should not remain a Kanishtadikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, anyway, so this is the famous verse. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general is called a Prakrita Bhakta or Kanishtadikari. Now one might say that, wait a second, people who you're going to be criticizing today, they're not just worshipping the deity, they're preaching. No, they're not preaching, even though they appear to. That's the thing. They're concerned with their own selves.
The Prabhu said, no.
Today, they're not just worshipping the deity, they're preaching. No, they're not preaching, even though they appear to. That's the thing. They're concerned with their own self.
Actually, Nityananda Prabhu will be chastised about 4 or 5 times during the lecture.
Yes,
Nityananda Prabhu indirectly referred to him.
Yeah.
And you see here, who does not know how to behave toward devotees or people in general. That means if you do not know how to take guidance from a Madhyama Bhakta, and you do not know how to preach to the people in general, you are compromising left and right, and you're not pinpointing the real cause of their material sufferings, you're not boldly speaking, then you do not know how to reciprocate, and therefore you should not be preaching. So when a Kanishtadikari or Prakrita Bhakta, he preaches, so-called preaching is simply a disturbance in society. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidim Vina. So it is said that it's simply a disturbance in society, one who does not follow the proper guidance.
Yes, this way I don't try to preach much, but sometimes if questions are asked and this, then I can share Prabhupada's instructions. But bold preaching is still, just going outside, meeting someone, and you straight go to preach to him, and that's still something.
Yes, Prabhu. That so-called Sri Vaishnava devotee also said this, Prabhu. That ISKCON neophyte devotees showed him no Shastra proof for any of his their philosophy, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, now, okay, here Prabhupada speaks more of the Prakrita Bhakta. The Prakrita Sahajas generally chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, yet they are attached to women, money, and intoxication. So this is one of the type of the Kanishtadikari. So he's called a Prakrita Sahajiyas. He takes everything very cheaply. He's chanting Hare Krishna. He might even have a sikha. He might, wear tilak every day. But he's attached to women. He very much likes the association of women. He likes to make money, and even intoxication. Just like we know of a very famous group in ISKCON. They have got their mridangas and they sing bhajans in very melodious tones, but we learned that they got caught at the airport with ganja one time. So you see, so many of those so-called kirtaniyas in our ISKCON, they're actually drug addict. They smoke ganja. Even my sister, she used to tell me that because my sister is also a devotee, so at one point she was living full-time into the Montreal temple. And she told me practically all devotees, the young devotees, they smoke ganja.
Yes, actually, this is like this in Finland also. I've slowly started.
Oh, really? Wow.
So they used to smoke ganja together, So how are you going to make advancement when you're associating with such devotees? When I say ganja, it means marijuana, pot, they say. So anyway, I used to smoke also when I was a karmi, but I managed to give up because I got the proper association. So, we're not we're not saying, oh, you smoke ganja, you're low and this and that. No, everybody's coming from some background, you know. Some
Yes, I also used to do this a lot.
of us less pious, some of us more pious. So in the beginning, these things should not be considered too seriously. Okay, he smoked ganja, so what? If he's sincere in following the principles, he'll get purified. So we should not consider what he was before. But if he's insisting on continuing his bad habits, and he doesn't want to take guidance from senior devotees, then his association should be given up, because he's called then he's classified as a prakrita sahaja. This is a distinction. One who wants to stay in his contaminated position and who claims that this is okay, this is bhakti, I can do like that, then he's a prakrita sahaja. But if he understands that, no, this is an anartha, now I might fall back once in a while in it, but I don't want to keep that anartha. I want to become purified. I want to advance toward pure devotional service. Then he's not to be called a prakrita sahaja. So this is the first type of kanishtadikari. Now, although such persons may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. So there's devotees that we should avoid. This is what Prabhupada is saying.
Yes, this is like ghostly haunted position, this prakritas. It's scary position. I always want to run away of it, but it's easy to fall to, because one cannot, especially this attachment to woman and money especially also, because when one is working and one is easily, he starts to think about, how could I gain some more? Or for me, it's when I sell those shoes, when I look a little bit more about them, what could I buy and sell? When I more and more think about it, then I notice that it starts to stay more and more in the mind, that what I'm gonna do with the money and how much I'm.
Yes, but I was saying when the salary come, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do with them. So
Yeah.
I immediately donate some part to devotees.
Yes,
It's better to use like that.
Yeah, so these come really easily. So we need to be careful about prakrita sahaja. How is it? Prakrita sahaja.
Prakrita sahaja. Yes, they are not ready to how to say, to change their habits. I mean, they saying it's okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
And they have to be, it's not by the external symptoms that we know who is who. Prabhupada never said here the Madhyamadikari is wearing a dhoti nicely with the sevenfold and he's got the tilak all the way to the crest.
Yes, even though if some wrong things I might be making, but at least I'm never gonna say that those are okay to do. That is okay. At least I also want to get rid of all those things.
The head.
How to do it? It's harder because one needs to go to the devotees and associate properly.
It's not like that. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotee. Here we have a different type of kanishtadikari. That they might have bad habits, but it's not their okay, one moment. I see that my microphone is often clipping, which means it's a little bit too loud. You let me know if it's okay. Anyway.
See, this StreamYard works through like, what is this called? Like browser. It's browser based. I first thought it's like some app, that you have to download, but it works from browser.
Yeah, I remember that Prabhu used to use some app. I forgot how it is called for streaming, but this is much easier.
Yes, Prabhu.
And you see, it looks like Nimaitai Prabhu updated his plan because the last live classes in 1080p.
Yes, Prabhu.
Are not yet purified. They have got problem with their senses, controlling their senses, but it's not their fault. They will very soon come to the proper platform, Just one moment, huh? Yeah. I don't know if I can lower down the... Okay, yeah, here. Just give me 1 second. Audio, mic volume. I'm just going to be reducing this a little bit. Okay, now it should be less loud, but at least it's not... So why? The key factor here is that he's willing. They are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotees. So from the of course, Madhyamadikari, but best Uttamadikari. How to receive instruction from the Uttamadikari Vaishnav? Prabhupada is no longer here. No, his books are there. Okay, so therefore
Yes,
he
like
wants
we come
wants to
on
improve
Ishtagorski
his faith.
because we are want to change our bad habits. So that's why
Yes, Prabhu.
this
in
is
reading
important.
Prabhupada books, and he's taking guidance from Madhyamadikari. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. This is the third type of Kanishta Adhikari, but here Prabhupada is saying such Kanishta Adhikari should be treated as a Madhyamadikari. Yes. Why? Because this is what it is said in the verse here. We should offer within the mind. Then one should offer humble obeisances to the devotees who have undergone spiritual initiation diksha, okay, and is engaged in deity worship. So that is the, the Kanishta Adhikari who is very soon going to become Madhyam. Okay, so okay, I think number round chapter.
What is the
Okay, sorry, yeah. But those neophyte devotees were actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. There you go. So we have three types. The lowest is the Prakrita Sahajas, who want to continue in their own way. They don't take guidance. The second is the sincere devotee, but he's just, weak, still weak. And the third, he is relatively strong in Krishna consciousness, and he's surrendered. He's a surrendered kind.
Yes, this should be our goal, to get to this third position.
So, okay. All right. Now we are going back here. In this, okay. If we expose someone's sins in order that they ultimately attain auspicious.
Okay. Now we saw it.
Do you know the message he let go? He said, if one doesn't try to understand God, he's an animal. I don't know if you remember. So, although he was as calm, so nicely, well, so that he's not agitated, at the same time, he told the whole world that they're animals. Just see how expert he was. And the man did not become disturbed because he saw that, he's not saying that out of envy, right? So we should become expert like this, that we should know how to present the message so that, as to cause less agitation. But at the same time, we should not dilute the message. It should be as it is, What is 90%, if not 95% of Prabhupada's classes and teachings? You're a rascal, you're not supposed to be rotting in this material world, you're suffering, even though you claim independence, you have no independence. You say that you're a master, but actually you're a servant of your family, of your nation, of your boss, and your kids, and your wife, okay? And this material world, there's no happiness, it is only suffering. So, bam, 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 hitting on the ego, always, always, always. Not that Prabhupada was going around and speaking about, pastimes of Lord Krishna. No, not like that. This is Prakrita Sahaja. They very cheaply go to the so-called highest, while not even themselves being properly purified.
Yes. Yes, this was nice. Where was this from? Is this like?
Yeah. No. You scroll up a bit. It's from purport. The same verse which Prabhu asked the question. 2:12. Right in the end of the purport. I just highlighted that. Yeah, you see, those who are still entrapped by sex indulgence should never progress to meditation upon the feet of the Lord. Therefore, recital of Srimad Bhagavatam by them should be restricted to the first and second cantos of the great literature, because they represent the lotus feet of the Lord. So, but they saying like, that clip about Indra Prabhu, where Sundargopal Prabhu explained all that, and that's why they're falling down.
Yeah.
He said.
Okay, Haribo.